In this video, we are going to discuss why student learning outcomes are really important to course creators and entrepreneurs. And I'm going to show you exactly how to structure them into your courses. My name is Dustin Bakkie, and welcome back to Anyone Can Teach. I want you to imagine for a moment that someone who you really respect, someone who you could learn a lot from, someone who is really intelligent, just pulls up to you in their car and says, "Get in, let's go." And you're like, "Go where?" And they said, "Don't worry about it. By the end of it, you will be a completely different person. You will be happy, you will be successful, you'll be rich. Get in." You might get in, but if they can't clearly define where they're going, you don't know what you're getting into. And two, if they don't know where they're going, how are they going to get there? And this translates to your courses. You need to have a clearly defined endpoint, outcome, transformation, as you will, for your students. And you need to be able to articulate that. In the education world, this is called student learning outcomes. When we start designing courses, we start by defining where do we want our students to be at the end of this course. You will hear this termed transformation. What is the transformation you want your students or your customers to have? And you want to be able to define 3 to 5 of those very clearly for your students. And not only do we want to know where we're going to go, but we want to know how we're going to get there, right? There is a smart, efficient way to get there. Every day on the way to daycare, my 3.5-year-old son, we get on the freeway and then we get off the freeway and we go to daycare. And he says, "Dad, why are we on the freeway?" "Well, we have to get to school." "Why? Why do we have to get on the freeway?" "Because it's the fastest way." "Why?" "Because your school's over there." "Why is my school over there?" And this is our conversation every time. And so I understand that I have a clearly defined route to get to daycare quickly and efficiently, and I know where daycare is. Your course needs the same thing. You need a clear path to take your students from their starting point to their end point. So let's go ahead and look at how student learning objectives fit into your course design and your course structure. So I said we want to define 3 to 5 high-level course student outcomes. These are the things you want your students to achieve by the end of your course. And so what makes a good student learning outcome? Well, one, it needs to be specific. So what is it they will achieve or learn? Can you specifically say what those things are? It also needs to be well defined. So what does it look like to have achieved it? And then finally, it needs to be measurable. So how would they or you know that they have achieved it? So it needs to be measurable, specific, and well defined. And so, for example, in this video, I want you to understand the importance of outcomes in your course. I want you to create your own course outcomes and student transformations by the end of this, or be able to create your own. And I want you to be able to incorporate student outcomes into your course. So those are all specific. They're clearly defined. We could tell whether you did it or not. And they're measurable. So what does this look like within a course? So we have these 3 to 5 high-level student course outcomes, and then we're going to break our course structure down into different modules. These are the turns, these are the roads we're going to use to get there. I mentioned earlier, you've got to get on the freeway to get to daycare. Well, that's the turn 1, that's road number 1. And you want to break your content down into manageable chunks. Those big learning goals might seem hard to achieve. So what we're going to do is break them into smaller modules, each with its own specific module outcome. So you're going to give each one a very specific goal that ties back to those 3 to 5 main ones. And so again, if we know where we're going, now we could plot our route. And so for example, maybe if I were to teach a course on this, the first thing I would do is define what outcomes are. And then we'd move into understanding the importance of student learning outcomes in a course. And then we'd move into developing your own outcomes and how to write those, and then into incorporating them into your own course. So again, you can see a very clear goal outcome to each section of your course that relates back to those 3 to 5 high-level student learning outcomes. So now you might ask, well, what's in each of those modules? And within each of these modules, we're going to have a series of activities or hands-on application or learning content pieces. This is the meat of your course. This is the learning, the application that all directly tie back to that outcome. You want to actually have a goal for each piece of your material. And I know this sounds tedious, but this is how we ensure that we're not teaching fluff. We are staying on the road. We're not taking detours. So does each one of these little tasks, and you don't have to have 3, you don't have to have 4 modules. This is just a representation of what it might look like. Each of these will have a specific goal that aligns back to what that module's outcome is, which aligns back to that 3 to 5 high-level course learning outcomes. So these are really important. This helps your students know exactly what they're doing to achieve the overall transformation that you are selling to them by selling your course. And it ensures that you, the teacher, get them there. You have your roadmap. You know how to do it. If you want more help with how to write your own student learning objectives or course objectives, that could be an entire course on its own, honestly. And there are people out there who devote their lives to how to research and create this. But one of the places I encourage you to start is with Bloom's Taxonomy, which is a very common resource that educators go to help define learning goals. So on screen, I will have a little outcome triangle that you will be able to see where we look at different levels of learning and tasks that might be associated with them that you can help create your own learning outcomes for. Otherwise, stay tuned to the channel and I'll probably make a video about writing your own learning outcomes down the road. I hope you found this useful and hope it was able to give you a bit of a framework in structuring your own course. I humbly ask that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification. It goes a long way in helping me spread this message and helping other entrepreneurs like you create amazing course experiences for their students. I can't wait to see you in the next video. On screen, I have a couple of other videos that you might be interested in if you liked this one.